All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the TF live coverage of ozfortress Season 24 premiere. This is the Week 5 match between the number one team at the moment, which is Coffee Clock, and the number 4 team, I believe it is, in Unanimous Confusion. With me on my co-caster role tonight is the wonderful Dreamboat, or Graham, and on camera tonight is going to be Thermite. How you doing, Graham?
I'm so excited to be here, to be honest with you. Like, it's been a while. It has been over a calendar year since I've casted TF2. It's been about that long. Like, yeah, I guess Rewind 2 was about that long ago. So it's been a while. I almost came back to do Invite Finals one season, and then Invite Finals got moved last minute. So this is long overdue, and the fact that it's back with TF Live really means I couldn't actually be happier to be here at all. It's a perfect match. And maybe with that, Xander's keyboard has died again. I can't hear anything he's saying. I'm just talking to myself. But hi, everybody. If you did miss that intro, my name is Graham Morrison, aka the artist formerly known as Dreamboat, or whatever anyone wants to call me at this point in time. And yeah, wait, I think I heard Xander's keyboard maybe live.
I hopefully am back. Yeah.
Yes.
If this, just let me know if this happens again. I don't know what's going wrong with it. It just sort of is unhappy at the moment. But that being said, yeah, it's good to have you back, Dreamboat, and I'm looking forward to a good night of TF2 in front of us. I believe this, as I said before, this is the Week 5 match, so it's going to be Process and I believe Badlands. So we should see two very exciting maps. Let's just sort of run down some teams really quick. Before we head into any sort of other analysis type stuff. I'll go down the red team. The red team on your scoreboards is going to be Coffee Clock, which is the higher seeded team at the moment. Yule is going to be playing Pocket Soldier. Red Coat, Zygote, is going to be playing Demo. Riot is roaming. Susu or Susurrus, that's Cookie, I believe, is it? I'm not sure. Maybe it's, I think it is going to be playing Scout. Sam is also going to be playing Scout. And Doge is going to be playing Medic. So, any names that you recognize there, Dreamboat?
Quite a few of them. Fortunately, I picked a match by the looks of it that people that have played Prem for a while are still playing Prem in on both teams, which is good to see for a multitude of reasons. It's nice to be back seeing players that I actually recognize. I mean, some of these guys have been playing like all the way back when I started for TF Live, back when we still had Ego and Jasmine T kicking around. So yeah, no, this is two sets of tenured players. Of course, the other side, Unanimous Confusion, have Raisin Faithless on Scout, Feign and Spade on Soldier, Deft on Demo, and Half Wrong on Medic. And it looks to be a fairly potent lineup in its own right.
Yeah, so there's not much separating the first, 3 or 4 teams in Prem this season. It's honestly looking really, really close. The top 2 teams in Coffee Clock and I can't remember what the other one is. They the Hertz team, whatever the Hertz team's called. Big Chungus, possibly. There's a lot of good names this season. They're literally 1 or 2 rounds apart from each other, so it's looking like it's going to be a really, really close and exciting season. But these two are 1 and 4, as we've said before. And you know, there are, as Dreamboat said, some really, really old players coming in here. And just actually, as I say that, we do seem to be going live, so I might hand it over to Dreamboat as we go live onto this first mid of Process.
Oh god, you're making me go right into the deep end, and that's exactly what Red Coat Zygote's doing. He's actually a little bit behind his counterpart Deft in this first mid, but we do have a quick bomb coming over. Riot just putting some pressure on, being a distraction, as he is so very good at after all these years. He's still impressive roamer. We do have those bombs coming forward. No one really getting it better in this fight. Now both scouts actually quite tagged up, but they'll be healed quickly as Feign has fallen. And now the pressure coming forth. Coffee Clock still starting to roll through. Faithless and Spadeful. And the Raze will try and get his medic out. Half Wrong. It looks like they will comfortably escape. There's going to be pressure coming in. The bombs through. Half Wrong takes a ton, but is able to get out with his life.
Data has been added. Our control point is
Sorry, my keyboard is having its problems again. But yeah, that was a really, really calculated mid from the red team there, as they just sort of waited for that one player to walk just that little bit forward. And then they just took him out and then rolled that on numbers. I think it is worth mentioning, just while we are on this even Uber's stalemate on last, that Faithless is actually a merc tonight. Faithless is a very good scout player, been playing for quite a while, but he is actually merking tonight, as Ben, who is the other core scout on the blue team, is not available tonight. And that is Raze coming up on his trademark sniper, getting that shot, doming the pocket of red team there, which is triggering that counter sack from the Roma Fane, but Fane does not get anything done and gets completely deleted there. Both of these spawns coming up pretty soon, as we do see the red team trying to walk forward into this lobby a little bit, but this sticky trap from Deft is going to force them to walk backwards a little bit, and they do seem to just sort of stalemate here with no off classes coming up on the side of red team, and Fane actually trying his luck, might just be checking in spawn. Yeah, he is just checking in spawn to see if they're playing any funny business, but it does seem to be a cookie cutter lineup at the moment, Graham.
Yeah, and Unanimous Confusion are holding actually quite close here with that lobby control, which is always a dangerous play, and we're going to see pressure coming in through one right now. They're not actually committing to this push, as a lot of their players get taken up quite heavily, and Sam will fall to Spade. Faithless does quickly get traded back, so it's not the end of the world. I think that's going to cause things to reset a little bit here. Just wait, see another sack likely come forward to see if they can't force that Uber out.
Indeed, Sam may indeed choose to come up as an off class, as yes, he does. He does choose to come up as that sniper there. Sam very well known for his sniping, so they're gonna put a lot of effort into this Sam basket. As Raze is not on the counter sniper right now, they probably expect it, and they're just trying to sort of hold really close. Yeah, we see Fane doing quite a lot of damage, indeed taking out Yule right at the end there in door 2, and Faithless forwarding here, actually managing to get another pick onto that sniper. He goes down, and the soldier is in on Spade, doesn't manage to get anything, does cause Doge to take a lot of damage, but unfortunately doesn't get the force there, as Doge does have balls of steel right at the very end. They are sort of spawners coming back up on both teams. Sam opting to switch back to that scout, and Spade's probably just going to spawn again into his pocket soldier role there, as this stalemate is just choosing to extend itself yet again, Graham.
Oh, but now we have some aggression coming in. Fane going deep. Sam, you know, he just mulches them. It's scouts. It's the scout thing. They click on the soldier, it dies. What do you expect? With that, we're seeing a little bit more pressure coming in. Cookie's following, as have Sam. All of a sudden, there are no scouts right now over on Coffee Clock. Sure, they'll pick Faithless, but I think they should back up here. Be overstaying their welcome.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty confident at staying in here. They're thinking that nothing's going to happen here, and it turns out nothing does happen. That's interesting, not choosing to push. I suppose being that official, Raze is actually changed off into that sniper. They don't want to take that risk. Yeah, they're just opting to have Raze snipe to see if he can make anything happen, because he is a very, very talented sniper, and especially seeing as there's no off classes. Actually, Cookie coming up on sniper, as I've said that now. Cookie on sniper, trying to peek into this lower lobby area. He's, again, a very, very frightening sniper, and Raze losing his buff now, choosing to back off and regain that before he peaks this very, very dangerous sniper fight. And they are just sort of waiting to trade shots here. Nothing super exciting happening at the moment. Raze choosing to rotate to door 1 to see if he can get another angle. Sam does show his face, but lives to tell the tale, as they're taking a lot of ground into lobby now, as Spade is taking a lot of damage and forced to back right off, and that leaves door 5 wide open for them. Fane going in to see what he can do there, but unfortunately losing his life. And this is the wide peak. Raze eating that headshot from... Yeah, and Yule coming in to clean that up. Faithless losing his life too. And this is now 3 down on the side of the blue team. There's some arrows being hit, and he does dome half wrong. That is a fantastic shot from Cookie, and they're just playing this point without even needing to use the Uber. That's just a little bit of pop for the logs there on the side of Doge, I think. Fantastic push into that last Dreamboat.
Yeah, it was really just a case of that overextension, trying to chase some of the damage that they did, being absolutely systematically punished by Coffee Clock. With that, they take the first round, and now into this next mid. There's going to be a very aggressive bomb for Riot, getting right up in the face of the demo, trying to jump away. Will actually live. Riot, you are so very impressive. However, Sam, not quite as impressive in this mid, as Raze takes him out with a nice scattergun shot. Going to be pushing all the way through, and Coffee Clock, they're going to back off, take their lives away amid the unanimous confusion. Wow, English is hard. I tried to have wordplay, and instead I completely failed.
And that is, Fane actually was trying to jump through there. He does use his second try, gets healed up there and tries to jump through a little bit. That's actually Spade, sorry. And Riot is right in with the counter sack there. Does do a lot of damage, but unfortunately none of that is followed up on, as the medic does not take the damage that he needed to and can heal that up super quickly. That's just a Roma trade. I'm actually not 100% sure. I thought Spade was playing Pocket for this team, but he seems to be going for much more sacks. I feel that that was just because Fane failed his bomb there and Spade still had crit heals, so he could just go for it a bit easier. This kind of fluid play is really nice to see coming out from these sort of mid-level Prem teams. It was sort of that was really super popularized by the combo of Geo and Rocky a few seasons ago on Jasmine T, and now a lot of teams are going for this more sort of fluid pocket Roma kind of style, as in like who is in the best position will go for it. And that position is Fane right now as he does jump in. He doesn't get anything, gets absolutely mulched by Yule. Riot is in good position right now to go for this counter sack. He does seem to be waddling up close to this choke. These stickies are kind of deterring him a little bit. No, he just does go through. Oh my goodness!
He gets half wrong! How does he do it? Riot, stop blowing my mind. He got Faithless too. Are you kidding me? This man is a monster. And with that, it is going to be Cocky Claw completely mulching.
Doge drops as well. That was the Scout of Rays coming in there and dropping him. I suppose he just didn't want to use there when his team was so far forward, 4 or 5 up all around him. He was like, I'm not popping to this one Scout, but he does pay for it in his life as Rays hits those shots. And that is the pretty rare double drop from each team, and this is turning into a reset on mid. A red team has come victorious on this mid point, but now it's kind of just resetting into what's looking like another mid fight here, and the first casualty here is Faithless as he does lose his life. This soldier is really far behind in the red team, and there's a lot of damage actually coming in towards IT. Both soldiers are in the blue IT there, and they're trying to back out here, but Riot is in a good position. Unfortunately, only manages to frag himself there, but everyone is so low. Just the few remaining players on blue team, they're forced all the way back out, and that was a really, really dominant showing from the Coffee Clock team there, Dreamboat.
That was really winnable for Unanimous Confusion, but the play that Riot made was the hero play. The fact that he was able to go in behind, cause a distraction, it gave them basically the complete window and complete freedom to condense on these players. Unanimous Confusion were genuinely unanimously confused, looking both ways, and they got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, and you see making that play again is Riot coming up on that sniper class. They're taking the room in lobby. Spade actually loses his life in lobby here as the wow, 2 actually go down in the red team there. That's both scouts losing their life there. Riot is actually going to lose his life as this Uber is used into lobby just as it fades. They do manage to get that, but Doge's positioning is so good here. He's in no danger right at this choke, and they look like they're going to repush this with their spawns. Doge is indeed committing here. They don't want to get this in, but Doge is taking a lot of damage, does manage to get that force out before that second rocket drops him here, and they don't even manage to get a cap on second, do the blue team here, as they are kind of resetting into about 20% Uber differential, but this is on last. I think it's pretty unlikely that blue team push out here, especially seeing as how passive they've been before. But as I say all of this, the Door 5 push is coming in from the red team here, and they are getting a lot of ground here, losing a lot of players. 3 down on the side of blue team and 2 down on the side of red team, but this point is being played. Yule actually eats a really nice rocket from Fane. 2 really nice rockets from Fane there, and they do use their Uber to stop this cap time becoming effective, but Doge is still alive, running out with Sam. They don't manage to get the pick that they really need here, and this is reset to a basically full Uber ad situation for the Coffee Clock. And they've got so much cap time on last, Graham.
First of all, I love the idea to push, because when you have a minuscule advantage and no one's even close, it's fantastic, because it's basically a free push. Half wrong though, saved that, got a big saw, got the Uber off. Unfortunately, with no Doge pick, here comes their detriment. Full Uber coming straight forward is going to get into half wrong, and he falls instantly. Now the gun is going to go down as well as the NG reset. There was a spy ambi kill on the Riot. I missed the hat. But now we have the mulch coming through. It should be cleaned up, but the damage is still very poor. On Coffee Clock, however, Sam just on the point. He's got it.
Yeah, his scout partner, Cookie, there just got absolutely mulched by a Spade, hitting a really, really nice rocket there. But this is, yeah, now 2 rounds up on the board for Coffee Clock, which is not super unexpected, seeing as there is a little bit of differential, but there is still definitely time for this to turn around as we head into our next mid. Riot, again, going for quite a fast high position take there, dealing a 1 rocket worth into Deft, but chooses to back out and reset his health with his team here, as the right side is being played a little bit by this Soldier and this Scout, and they do actually Redcoat absolutely crushing Spade there. Fane losing his life. This high ground is all in the side of Red Team. Buell actually didn't take him so low, but he's still committing to this fight on that 8 HP, which is what he really needs to do, and he's creating so much space for his team by committing here, and they're forced all the way back out. Buell doing the hero play on very, very low HP for that mid, Graham.
Yeah, and one of the things that backfired on the mid before is they tried to set up for Redcoat. Actually, Riot's going to come flying in here, right in onto Afro, gets the pop-up, not able to hit the midi after it. What I was going to say is Redcoat didn't really have much impact in the mid that they lost. This time he came around, found an early pick, did some very good damage. Now Spade, yeah, he's going to get absolutely denied.
Yeah,
so
there's
good job by Redcoat on the mid.
One nice rocket there is all he's going to get, but Doja's positioning, like, they expected that 100%, and like they, you know, Doja's like not born yesterday. He can do a lot of work with just where he stands on that map, and this is reset pretty easily. No off classes coming up on either team here, as they are choosing just to stalemate this out a little bit, but the onus to push should be on the blue team here, because they are 2 rounds down. There's still a lot of time here, but I reckon they should, yeah, and they do seem to be trying to get into this position here, as the Soldier in Spade is trying to get quite far forward, but this is a big flank trade actually, and there's the life of their Merc flank scout going down there, and Fane actually all their flank goes down on the side of IT, and this Uber is getting so much ground without being used, and they do force it on Deft. Deft is being solid on right now, but they're losing everyone behind as these players are in lobby. Yule and Sam both kind of in the lobby / upper IT area, and Doge does not get forced in the slightest there. He's in such a good position, doesn't take any damage from Deft in that Uber, and this is now a free second for them, leading into a full Uber ad push onto last, Graham.
Yeah, they pop it off here on the demo, and Scout getting raided, pressuring the point. There is a heavy they need to deal with, and they're not finding any of these kills. In fact, they're getting mulched up. Xurus and Sam come back with a pair. That makes it a little bit more interesting. Half Wrong was one of them. However, Doji's gonna fall, but Sam and Xurus, they're still just farming, and it looks like they'll kill everybody in the end. Leave those 2 scouts alive. They are so incredibly potent, and they show why.
Yeah, they're very, very good playing together as a team. You can see those targets focus just one after another, which is really great to see from those 2 scouts. With DM like that, if you have 2 people meat-shotting you at the same time, it's basically an instant death. But yes, we do head into our 4th mid, and this Soldier in Riot is super deep onto Deft right now. Unfortunately misses one of his rockets there, and Deft does live to tell the tale, but he takes a lot of damage for it, which translates into a lot of ground for Red Team as they are moving forward. But now that both Soldiers on the blue team are actually jumping really, really far forward, Yule is going to lose his life there, and that's 2 down on the side of Red Team. They're choosing to back out here. Really sensible play from them as they do survive to hold this second, but that is the mid-fight going the way of blue team, Graham.
Now, Unanimous Confusion will continue to try and press forward to see if they can't get a pick off, right? Got tagged fairly heavily, but he's got a heal beam up his butt, so he's A-okay. It's going to allow him to move back forward into flank, see if he can find a pick on the Fane, but no, he's just pressured him all the way back. Surely we're going to see a bomb come through choke any moment now. That's where the onus is. It's on Unanimous Confusion. They have
Fane, here he goes.
And here he goes.
And he's in, floating up in the air. Does get a little bit of damage, but not on the players that he needs to there, as Doge barely takes anything. And they're up there. They look like they're trying to rotate to this flank, while they know that their flank is weak with that one player in Fane down, which is a really large brain strategy. But the rockets are coming in, and that is actually 3 picks, I should say. Make that 4 as Yule does fall. I predicted the future. And that is 4 down. They still haven't used their Uber, so they're backing out to preserve that. But that fight was really messy. Did you catch much of what was happening there, Graham?
Yeah, so what they tried to do is they tried to do the same set play that happened a little bit earlier, where they managed to drop Half Wrong. They pushed Redcoat through IT a little bit just to put some pressure in. He lands a sticky. Riot comes in with the bomb, hits 1 rocket, and it's a drop. The problem is Redcoat didn't hit that sticky, and Riot got absolutely destroyed going for his bomb. Didn't get anywhere near the medic, and therefore, not worth the investment. They overstayed their welcome, and they lost everybody.
Yeah, but they do manage to stabilize on last, which is impressive. And Spade actually going in to try to even things out a little bit. But Doge is just so good. He's not taking any damage from these soldier bombs, which is great. Riot going in for the count up, and doesn't really get anything, just unfortunately frags himself with his own rocket. That's the sniper and Sam going down, so that is 2 picks on the side of blue team. They have 2-player ad going into this last. They may see if they can force this a little bit now that they have their players up. No off-classes coming up on their side, so we should see some excellent pushing action coming quite soon, as these 2 scouts do try to move a little bit through this door 5 area on the far right of the map from the pusher's perspective. Fane actually taking a lot of damage in door 1. He does lose his life as he gets forwarded with no rockets loaded by that scout. That's a really good heads-up play to see that from Cookie. But we do see another counter pick actually going right away as Deft traps Cookie as he tries to go forward on that little cocky I just fragged an idiot kind of brain. But we do see Spade actually taking a lot of damage there, getting crushed by some pipes from Redcoat again. And we do see yet another reset coming in here, as we do see another soldier in actually. Riot loses his life again, and this is just like one-man sack after one-man sack, not getting much done, Dreamboat. What needs to happen? What needs to change here to break this stalemate?
Well, I do like the pace at which they're throwing players back and forth right now. Sometimes if you're going, like, the faster you get these picks, these trades off going for these counter sacks, sometimes you can actually catch them out just by the sheer speed that they're already in. Sometimes they don't expect a second player dropping. Do like the idea behind it, but now they've slowed things down. They've got Spade on Sniper, which I think is the right call in this spot. You know what? Where Doge is holding that. Okay, Doge ate a pipe. Aaron spam pipe, apparently. And now Sam falls to Spade, so that worked nicely. I was going to say where Doge was, they were going to have a hard time getting to him, but when you walk into a spam pipe, anything is possible.
Yeah, that's the old deft pipes get piped around the corner, which does happen sometimes here, as they are holding a really aggressive lobby, trying to deny Spade all of this room. He's really far in actually, but he does lose his life. And this is a Pyro actually up on Cookie, as he's trying to just check for spies or sort of try to deny them any ground here. But this Uber is forced out of half wrong actually, as the soldiers jump forward trying to do as much as they can there. Yule actually does manage to get that force. Only player to lose his life there, which is pretty much the ideal situation. And now we see the hard task of pushing out of last here. This team, if there's any team that can do it, I reckon this team is going to push without any idiots leaking behind. All that being said, there is a spy coming up on Spade. I imagine he's going to see if he can get that back cap. There's Yule actually up on the Pootis. Interesting play to see this Pootis. They're all falling, even without the Uber being used, they're all falling on the side of blue team here. Spade is actually right behind Yule.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Uncloaked a little bit too close. Tried to go for some butter knives on a heavy, and, well, that usually results in death 10 times out of 10. And, well, that's exactly the case. So now we have Coffee Clock trying to come back straight through mid, just pressuring them out. They don't want to use this Uber, and they've done a good job forcing them back, forcing them away, and not really leaving that even a possibility. Raze is still on Sniper here on second. He is, you know, most snipers at this level are quite good, so we might be able to get that shot off. He's looking. Oh, there was a stationary Cookie for a while, and I thought he was going to get it. Instead, though, tag up on Yule to deny the bomb is very nice.
This is actually really ballsy from Doge, as he's taking quite a lot of ground right in this sniper sight line, although he knows his team is there to back him up, which is really nice to see. The Ubers are traded out on this second point with 2 down on each team. This is actually going to favor the red team much, much better. Faithless is super low. Half-long is also about the third of his health. And this point is being capped up here with these Ubers resetting pretty much to even. And we've seen red team go pretty much coast to coast on this, just off their... just that one play where they got that force, and then Doge's survivability without using his Uber there, which is so key here.
Doge! What? Did Doge.exe genuinely stop working?
Accidental
kill bind? What?
Not sure what happened there. That's not what you usually see. They're not honouring anything in the even Ubers here. They're going, yeah, your medic has lost his life. You are going to trade this point for that, and now we have full ad pushing into mid. They are 3 rounds up with about 10 minutes left, but I feel that that's pretty unfortunate. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I guess we'll have to ask Doge that after the game, but Halfrong is taking actually a little bit of damage as they walk in here, and that Uber is actually forced from him. Deft going super far forward to see what he can do, but his medic can't catch him in time. This soldier is actually Riot is winning the duel behind, and Sam hits the shot on Halfrong. Raze loses his life as well. It's just the soldiers. But Doge doesn't die this time. The one soldier is coming in, hits some nice rockets there, but Doge is still alive. So he's managed to survive a full Uber-ad situation with 3 players throwing themselves directly into him. Let's just hope he doesn't kill bind again, Graham.
Here we go. It was tactical. He kill binded, forced the push out. They killed everybody. Now they get to walk into the last with Uber advantage. Full ad, right? That's the only reasonable explanation. It's not a reasonable explanation whatsoever, but I'm rolling with it. As we have a super set to come through right now.
Through door 1 here. They do commit, and Sam is actually up on Sniper here, which is interesting to see. He domes Spade, so he's already coming into play here, and that's Raze going down as well. The gun's already down. Faithless super low. He's going to lose this duel with Susurrus? No? Yes, there we go, finally. And it's just Deft left on the point, and that is 4th round on the board for Coffee Clock in what was a very clinical last push, Dreamboat.
Yeah, and the fact that they managed to pull that off is a testament to them, considering they did it in spite the most questionable medic play I've seen out of Australia since Yuki popped Uber for no reason in the Summer Cup back in 2015. Like randomly just holding last, he popped it on nobody, just sitting there all alone. So, you know, he's got competition for most questionable one. But in this bit, they are all grouped up right now, taking some similar spam. Leaves Spade quite low, but no one's fallen yet.
It's again this pretty clinical right side play that is again paying off right away as they're trying to play the enemy's main pack there. A red team is just walking forward, 3 frags going their way in very, very quick succession, and they're ready to move on it right away, but Halfrong is already all the way out into lobby. Yule is going to try to cut off this demo in door 1, does eat that rocket, but Raze is there ready to cut him off, and this is a free second off this as well, just off their aggression from that. Deft looks like he wants to use out here actually, and they do. They use first in this situation and flash someone. So this Uber is not looking the best for blue team here, and the Cookie and actually Wright and Sam losing their life on the flank there, and Raze does cause Doge to lose his life at the end there, and that is actually 2 up, 1 up, just the demo man.
Well, it's you know, it doesn't matter if you pop first and flash more players if you still manage to kill everything. So despite what probably should have been a much worse Uber, it was very quickly turned around by Unanimous Confusion. Here's the problem, Xander. We've seen them have good situations to be in before. They've got Ad here getting set to push second. We've seen that. You know what we haven't seen? We haven't seen them convert around. We need to see some big change from Unanimous Confusion. Looking hopefully less confused and a little bit more in sync as they hopefully can pull out their first round of this game.
Yeah, I agree. It seems to be a sort of team cohesion play, because if you look at the pushes from Red Team, if you look at the pushes from Coffee Clock, they seem to be, those scouts are both focusing the same targets, and the soldiers are both jumping through taking room, which is actually exactly what's happening on the blue team here, as both soldiers jump through choke, and they get their Uber in really deep through lower IT without being seen due to that late force. But the force does come out of Doge, and they manage to catch everyone late here. Sam is going for this aggressive trade, and he does manage to frag the player in their sewer, and it's just Raze really running for his life. Sam, doesn't manage to get the demo man. That's an excellent sticky coming in from Deft to live there. He does manage to get out, but this mid is definitely going to fall in the favor of Coffee Clock.
That was a cute idea from Unanimous. They just waited way too long. I mean, that's a very solid play if you get in and get in on the medic when he doesn't have Uber. The problem is he had Uber. So now you've multied a couple scouts forward. I think their demo was also coming in behind with them and got a flash. And then the Uber is up for Coffee Clock. Didn't get forced until the end, and everyone just got crushed.
Yeah, it was a really nice milk from Doge there as to sort of clean up everyone who is still too far forward from that Uber. And they're taking this right through the Al-Qaeda corner there outside the far right of Sewer. Soldiers jumping. Fane is getting absolutely minced as he can't get anything done. Raze actually does manage to find Sam on the flank there as he's trying to move in. Does look like they're trying to set up to hold this as there's one down on each side. But they, I would see, yeah, look at this. Yule's jumping behind already. The Ubers are traded here, but with so many players behind Riot and Yule both actually behind, and they get frags right away. As I'm saying that, these two soldiers are playing so well. Yule is actually going to be taken down by Deft. Some nice stickies, but he's just distracting there. Deft turns around and the medic loses his life to a really excellent bomb on the side of... Oh no, the skill stick! As I say that, Fane whips out the skill stick and frags Doge. He surfed that so well, but unfortunately landed right on top of an already swung melee. So that's both medics down, but this is a very favorable situation to be if you're red team, Graham.
Yeah, it is favorable for now. The question is how does Unanimous Confusion rip that away? They've done a good job sometimes with their back against the wall here in the last, finding a couple picks and turning things around. I expect they'll try to do something cute, but we do also have the heavy on last. I'd like to see a sniper up. I'm a little surprised that we only have one off class.
Yeah,
I feel like in this spot a sniper would be useful.
Exactly. Even if you know you're facing this, which is an even Ubers pretty much situation, with them heading into your last, you're just trying to turtle here, and there's a Putus, but there's not any engineers in that. Actually, that being said, they do actually change off into two scouts. It looks like they're trying to hold this really aggressive in lobby here, but there's Ubers up on both teams right now. Riot and Yule trying to do their Riot and Yule things as they sort of trying to cause a little bit of chaos here. They're just walking a little bit forward, but they're being shut down by this really aggressive hold. They can't really find that opening that they're looking for. Still no off classes on either team actually right now, as we just sort of see them sort of poking at each other, seeing what they can do. Doge is actually, Redcoat is actually quite deep in door one, dealing actually a fair bit of damage. Fane may lose his life here. No, he does actually manage to stay alive, which is cool, and they do manage to get Sam and Riot in the end, and that's the flank all down on the side of Coffee Clock, and that is Doja's signal to back up and hold towards choke. No, it is not. He is still holding on point. He has a lot of faith in this team, and he's not taking too much damage from that soldier bomb, but they're pushing in really aggressive. They're going to trade this Uber for this point. Faithless loses his life, and they don't actually use on blue team just yet. They do seem to be wanting to walk in without these players. No, Raze and Fane go down, and it's just Deft and the medic on last with this full Uber. They're not really managing to do anything. Huffrong trying to run towards this point, but there's just so many players here. They're splitting up and hiding in various locations all around the map. One scout in panic room, seeing what he can do. Sam there jumping around the other scout, and it just runs on the point. And that is the 5th round on the board, and indeed the game for Coffee Clock, Dreamboat.
So I love the idea of what Coffee Clock did there. They fell back, they stayed in just deep enough that they've got to commit fairly heavily for it. They kited around, they condensed on a couple players, trying to force the Uber out, and Doge was in a spot that he was never really in danger of having to force. So in the end, he gets the exchange he wants. They find a few kills. Halfrong had the right idea to fall back. He just needed more of his team to do it at a much faster pace. They overstayed their welcome, and they got really destroyed in the end for it. Cost them the round. And I don't know, Xander, about you, but that's one thing I kind of stood out to me a lot of times is Unanimous Confusion. They had opportunities for rounds that or maybe not rounds, but definitely pushes that they could have won or stabilized off of, and they just overstayed their welcome in every single one of them. They stayed around a little bit too long. They got punished, and Coffee Clock took a round off it.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's pretty telling, I think, in terms of if we just have a quick look at some stats here as well. We do have the logs up in Mumble as well. You can see that from just like the cohesive play from both of these scouts. Both of these scouts in Cookie, the combo scout, and Sam, the flank scout, both having very high damage games, doing quite a lot for their team. And they were both, as every push, they were both shooting the same targets, and they were both playing heals really well, and they were both scattering and knowing when to go behind and knowing when to do whatever. But that just wasn't happening with the scouts on Unanimous Confusion. Faithless not having the best game. I mean, it's very hard when you only win a couple of mids and you spend most of the game on last as engineer to have like really high damage or anything like that. But he didn't have the best game there. The other scout in Rays not doing too badly either, but he was obviously getting shut down by the damage wagon that is Cookie and Sam. They're just leagues above any other scout combo in Australia. I feel right now they're very, very good.
Yeah, no kidding. And really, the awkward spot when you're looking at this, and what tells the entire story of this, is mid fights. Yeah, 3 of them went Coffee Clock, 2 went to Unanimous Confusion. Only 5 total caps went the way of Unanimous Confusion, whereas 18 went to Coffee Clock. So even the fact that they had a couple mid-fight wins, they weren't able to convert it to much more. They had a couple recaps on second pushing out, and that was it. Everything else was Coffee Clock. There was no real set push, and if there was that Unanimous Confusion won, there was never a second one. They could never chain together fight wins, and you're not going to win a map when you can't win more than 2 fights in a row. More than one fight in a row.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel that some of that wasn't even necessarily that they were doing things wrong in terms of setting up for set pushes. It's just that every time they wanted to go do something, they always had either Yule or Riot or both being behind and doing just like insane things. They were causing so much distraction. Like you saw it on that second point where the Yule jumps in and distracts the demo and does a lot of damage to the medic, and then Riot just comes in from some other angle on the other side of the map. They were just playing off each other so well, and it was really, really interesting to see just that kind of soldier cohesion in getting behind and disrupting every single plan that the Unanimous Confusion really wanted to get happening.
I felt like this is one of the ones where I can't really say much on it. Just having looked through, sitting in spectator, it's something I'd really have to pay attention to. But I felt in a lot of fights, Half Wrong just happened to have his beam on the wrong person, on people that he didn't quite want. I get what he was trying to do in some of the fights, but I feel like his healing would have been better spent on his scouts at kind of different times than he was. It just felt off on his heals, and I think the numbers are good, but in the fight I always feel like he was just on the wrong person at the wrong moment.
Yeah, I can see that, but I think when you're comparing him to someone like Doge, who has a lot of experience in this game, being a top 2 demo man in the last couple of seasons, and then switching back to his old main of Medic, which he played last played a fair few seasons ago, I think 3 or 4 seasons ago, he still has it. His positioning is just leagues above Half Wrongs there, and as you say, who he's healing in these fights is really important too. He's always healing the right target. He's always knowing when to back off, when to hold, and when to stay. Even though there were some situations where I was thinking, oh, they're like 2 down. I wouldn't want to hold this point where he's holding, but their whole team just commits to that fight, and his survivability and his movement there was just paying off so much there, and he would win these fights where I wouldn't think that they would win, just off who he was healing and how he was healing them.
Also, feel bad stat is 2 of Half Wrong's 8 deaths were drops. That's sad. It was a drop zone. But
yeah, there was quite a few. There was that one time that both of those medics dropped at the same time. That was just some very nicely synced damage on him that first time that he dropped. And I think the second time was a headshot by Sam or Cookie. I can't remember. But he did have quite an unfortunate life. And when you're dropping, you're obviously not popping, which is the aim of the game as the German medicine man.
Yeah, and that first drop is such a beautiful set piece, and it worked to perfection of Coffee Clock. If you happen to miss it, weren't sure what happened out there in chat, basically there was a little bit of pressure coming through from the combo on Coffee Clock towards mid, coming through IT. Redcoat hits a really nice sticky on the med, and as that's hit, Riot's already falling out of the sky on top of the medic, hits a rocket. It's almost synced up, and you'd have had to have either amazing prediction to realize that was coming, or just god tier reaction times to even deal with that. So definitely a really nice play by Coffee Clock, and I'm curious to see if over on Prolands if they can carry that over.
Yeah, so this is a new version of Prolands. I'm not sure if you guys in America/Canada have been playing this new version much, but the last point is very, very different in that it's completely open from behind. Everything's just a little bit wider in other spots too, but this last point is much more open, which is a little bit nicer for defenders because you can walk in from behind. It makes last fights kind of take place on the ground a little bit more than they usually would. Obviously, the high ground is still very important in a last fight like this, the way it's designed, but it opens up the ground and kind of makes ground plays just that little bit more viable because there's more space, or more effective space, I should say, behind the point that you can play in. Which is interesting to see. Not many teams are sort of doing too much with it at the moment. It's still basically default Badlands, but it's nice to see, you know, some ever so slight changes to this map, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out. I know on mid, things like the shutter door are slightly more open, so it's slightly easier to hit some rockets in that. But yes, I'm keen to see this map played. This is actually my first time casting this version of this map, as we do, in fact, go live onto map 2 of this week 5 game. Let's hand it over to you again as we head into our first mid of this map, Dreamboat.
That's impeccable timing. My download for this just finished. I'm here and ready to go, and Dap is a fair bit faster than this counterpart. This counterpart's actually gone out of the valley, and Yule jumps right into another soldier mid-air. They collide, they deny their jumps, but the kills right now, they've gone Unanimous Confusion's ways. It's just Cookie and Doge left alive. Doge is going to fall back, escape, and yeah, there's not going to be any chase on that, so it is going to keep both meds alive. It'll be an even-over situation.
Yeah, that was really well played on the side of blue team. That kind of coordinated aggression was what we missed from them in that last map. Just those two scouts going forward, just the one or two stickies that Deft hit there. These scouts were just in there dealing that damage and got 2 frags super, super quickly. Even though there were some answering frags on the side of red team, they just were too little too late and they were forced to back out here. Doge surviving with his full Uber though, as he is quite wiggly. He's not going to lose his life there. They do have the Pyro class and the Engineer class up right now, as they are still very, very good for defending this point, despite things being just that little bit more opened up. But yes, this is setting into our first stalemate of the game, Dreamboat.
Raze, he tried to sack in. He ran right into a Pyro and a Sentry gun, and as a scout, that is like insta-death, and well, he instantly died. So rest in peace, Raze. I'm curious to see what he's going to come up on. Halfrong eats a ton of spam, and down to 9 HP. Oh dear Lord, Halfrong, please fall back, find a pack or something, and Death falls too. The aggression coming up from Coffee Clock is massive, with a Riot and Redcoat doing so much damage.
There is a player trying to leak behind. Oh, Faithless does lose his life. But that was, yeah, that's Halfrog is actually by himself. He's forced by Sam as he's trying to back out through Valley by himself. He's trying to walk up the slope the long way around there. He could have got caught very well by Yule jumping forward there, but he chooses to stay on that point and not move forward there. Halfrong does survive, but Doge, again, not using in that situation, just pushing off that damage. Halfrong was taken so low by those spam rockets from main by, I believe it was Riot, and that forced him to back off Deft there, which caused Deft to lose his life. And now we have Raze actually up on the sniper as they're trying to hold this choke. Yule is taking all of this ground for free though. He does lose his life, unfortunately, to that sniper, but Fane losing his life as well to a pop there. These sticky traps are still all over mid, and that is the demo down. Raze actually hitting a really nice shot onto Redcoat there, and these are 2 players down on the side of red team. They are opting not to push anything more further forward on the side of blue team, as they are just choosing to hold this trash area behind the spire, with Raze just locking down this choke with his laser sight of death, Dreamboat.
Yeah, we're raising a little hell in the new date. He's going to be peeking back towards mid. Gets a nice tag onto Cicerus, a.k.a. Cookie, from back. He was Cookie when I originally casted, so yes, he is Cookie to me forever. He can deal with it. Raze standing on stickies. That's... Oh, unfortunately, they were able to be... No. Oh, my. Okay. They were able to be destroyed because he headshot the demo. That works out beautifully. Ryan gets the kill on the Fane, sure, and Sam... I don't know if they realize this. Sam's in behind. Yeah, I don't think they realize he's actually just sitting behind Spire right now.
No, I think he's got in for free. No one seems to have seen him. I think he's going to wait for some coordinated aggression here as the Soldier Bomb or something to distract. And that is indeed what Yule's doing, causing a lot of eyes, and he's making his move. But he's been seen faithless on the 360 swivel there. Does catch him behind. Looks like he may lose his life there as Riot dies to a trap. But this Uber is used in. Doge is actually separated a little bit from Cookie there, and these Ubers are traded, but they do manage to get out through choke, losing only Sam and Riot, who are both behind in that place. Spade actually doing a lot of damage to Doge, and that sniper on Raze choosing yet another body shot. The soldier's in behind, does so much damage, and Yule does manage to take out Raze in the very end there, and that's Spade and Raze both down. Lots and lots of damage. Faithless is, sorry, not Faithless. Cookie is stuck behind on 1 HP, and the soldiers are jumping really, really far forward. Riot, half wrong goes down. Nice. Amazing coordinated aggression from both scouts and that soldier. That was next level. That was so exciting to watch, Dreamboat.
Cookie, so they missed the spam rocket on him. He lives on 1 HP, he gets a health pack to 67, and then he runs in and kills 3 people, the medic, the demo, and a scout. How the hell does he do it? Cookie, like, I ask this every time I see him play. He does something nutty. He is just so impressive, and he's been it for how many years now? Unbelievable. And I mean, with that, they have Uberad. They're in a spot where they're looking to push into last. This has been everything that they could possibly ask for, and thank Cookie for it.
And he gets another frag on Fane. Fane too far forward on that right side, and he does lose his life. Spade is replacing him there, but they've spammed this gun down. Yule's rockets making rather quick work of that, and this Uber is now forced in. Pyro taken care of in very, very quick succession, and this point is now being played. The rockets coming in from behind from Spade, and Deft is they're both playing behind the point in this area. I was talking about in pre-game, but it's too little too late as the cap time has already gone the way of Red Team, and that is the first round on the board for Coffee Clock, Graham.
Yeah, getting right back to their winning ways following process. That was a 5-0 on that map. I do think it will be closer here. It's been better from Unanimous Confusion early, but they also went coast to coast. So it's a rough spot, but into this next mid, Xander, let's see if they can do anything big, and Cicerus is a big picker.
These scouts are actually being super aggressive. Halfron getting tagged down really, really low. Deft actually does does trade his life rather for the demo man on the other team, but these soldiers and scouts are just getting absolutely mulched by the soldiers and scouts on Red Team, as that really, really early aggression from Riot onto their train actually dealt a lot, forced Raze back onto the low ground, which then forced his medic to stand still to heal him, taking all of this rocket damage in the meantime and just losing his life for it. And that was a complete turnaround on what we saw on the last mid. Their aggression just worked all the way against them now. As Blue Team do manage to get all their spawns up, they look like they're going to hold this second point, but this Uberad is fairly sizable on Doge, and I reckon it's definitely usable. Raze is on Sniper, actually, that being said, and he's been hitting his shots before, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do on this situation, and he is walking slowly towards this choke corner. Oh, and the soldier's jumping in around the corner. Yule, and there's a Crits Krieg actually coming in from Doge. Deft and Yule both Yule jumping in onto Deft, and Sam gets half wrong. And that is 2 down, 2 very, very important classes. And Sam gets Deft as well on very low health behind. And this is just the Sam show, as he looks like he's going to get raised as well. Impressive 5k from Sam as he walks right in there. And Cookie does that little cleanup on the last player, just trying to throw his life away to get this Spire. But that is a complete wipe. And now, again, crits add by Doge, unless he's picked up this medigun. No, he hasn't. He's just walking. They're muscling this while there are all so many players down, and this is the second round in such quick succession, Graham.
That was electric. I mean, they found all the kills in basically every situation. So walk in, it's a kill. Someone peeks, it's a kill. Everyone's there, it's a kill. It's just the way it went. Coffee Clock found them in every single spot. And even at times when things didn't look great for them, they still found all the kills. Xander, now take me away on this bit.
Yeah, we see Redcoat actually playing fairly passive this mid, and his soldiers doing all of the work there as Faithless goes in, but Riot's trying to go forward as well, trades his life for it. And Yule is quite low, actually, not getting heals as Doge is forced to surf out backwards here. Some nice pipes from Theft actually cleaning up that scout, and it does look like they're just going to regroup for a little bit, take some heals, take some beam in. Yule jumping forward, taking so much damage there on such low health, does manage to clean up that demo, and he is turned the tide of that mid on that very low health bomb, actually getting the work done that his team needs him to. And the blue team, Unanimous Confusion here, are forced to run with their tail between their legs as this mid falls the way of Coffee Clock.
Yeah, now they are just trying to set up for this second hold. See if they're able to do so, but losing Raze early to Riot and Sam, that's not good at all. Okay, bye, Faithless. Oh no, this is falling apart. This is crumbling away in front of our very eyes.
But he loses his life to Riot. Riot playing very close to his scout buddy there on the flank. Halfrong actually taken very, very low. Is my mic being funny?
No, I can hear you.
Not sure why I keep getting muted, which is interesting. Actually, Halfrong's low health does come into effect as the Uber does get forced in the end. Spade loses his life. Ray's going for this last-ditch effort on the Spy class. Fane going into... Fane manages to drop, gets the medic and the demo. That's insane from Fane. That's really, really well played. Ray is choosing to run away here and change off as they are ready to push, but it looks like there's going to be a little bit of a collapse here. Sam trying to push his luck a little bit here does manage to run away as Doge and Redcoat are both still down. Ray's actually manages to frag Cookie behind here as he's managed to walk out into this trash area. Spade loses his life to Yule, but Yule gets traded super quickly. Fane doing quite a lot of work as well on the flank there, as this is definitely a second cap for blue team here.
Yeah, the Fane train's coming through, indeed. Like, how do you do that? How do you walk in and kill a demo and medic? Well, I guess in his case, he didn't walk in. He jumped in. But still, the fact that you managed to get not just one of those, not just the force, but you get the drop and the pick is massive. Sam's going to be cut out on the flank by Faithless, but here's the problem. Fane's low, Raze is low, and they might lose one. In fact, they do lose Raze. Recondensed coming back in from Coffee Clock, and I think that's actually just enough to deny this push entirely. Spade and Fane quite low. Yeah, they have fallen back.
Yeah, really excellent positioning and jumps from Riot and Yule there as they both managed to go really far forward to just force them out of that choke. That being said, Riot actually does just bomb in and force that Uber as if it was the easiest thing in the world. Two splash rockets onto Halfrong and he's not having any of it. Doge isn't having any of it either though, as his Uber gets forced in counter there, but they're going all the way around this choke really, really quickly. Halfrong loses his life to Sam in the end. They do lose their demo man. Riot actually loses his life as well to some nice pipes from Def. Raze is taken super low. He's going to get cleaned up again by the Sam train as he does walk in there, and this point has turned around super quickly. Doge climbing up really, really quickly onto this point, and they're ready to make a push into this last. Faithless, not sure what he was trying to achieve there as he had the height disadvantage and was just going into the meat shop machine. Gets absolutely crushed by that fully overhealed scout, and they are again in an uber ad situation where they're standing in towards this lobby. Halfrong actually has quite a lot of internet right now. He has about 300 ping, which is not ideal. Not sure if that's going to come into play a little bit, but surely grinding ubers isn't going to be affected by ping too much. Just may get a little bit droppy in here if he does eventually get his uber. And this is still fairly straightforward play. Faithless just on Pyro, seeing if he can deny anything being pushed in. But other than that, no off classes happening here as this Uber does come up.
Well, getting a little droppy on medic is never a good thing. And speaking of droppy, Faithless does drop to that sticky trap. He was on Pyro, so it's not the end of the world. And now Ciceris and Yule both are down. Finding some kills on this defense. The cap, though, is so heavy. Everyone's behind the point. I don't know if they can actually hold this, but it's looking pretty good for them at the moment. Riot with a 2K might have a response. Sam's with them as well, as is Doge, still alive. In fact, Sam's found the kill. Riot's trying to condense in on the medic. Sam there as well. They're putting so much pressure in and around, but they need to find some of these kills. And in fact, it's Def to get two with one singular sticky, and this last point will be held.
Really, really impressive hold. Despite Doge doing all he can, his survivability was amazing there. Only just getting caught out by a really aggressive Def through lower lobby right at the end of that fight. He survived so much damage, running across the top lip of that point with his whole team, not taking any damage, and then just dancing around, avoiding all of the shots of that scout and surviving, which is really, really impressive. He does do not quite enough for his team, as that is a very impressive hold on the side of blue team. We see Ray's actually up on Spy here. Looks like he's moving forward through this lobby area, seeing if he can make something happen. But he's this team is so far back. Actually, take a quick look at Riot. Riot's trying to go for a little bit of a meme play here, doing the edge bug on this diagonal wall. He's taking too much damage for it and does decide to back out. He may get a buff and retry. You never know. Riot is the king of standing in silly spots, but it's in the wrong spot actually, as the medic is coming through here through the through the diagonal area there. But Faithless gets domed instantly. The scout that they were hoping to move that forward on loses his life. And indeed, that is the back cap. Looks like it's definitely going to happen. Two soldiers. Oh no! Deft saving it at the very, very last possible second. There's so much damage here. Sam, absolutely crushing Rays behind as well. Really nice shot from Sam just at the tail end of that fight, and that is the third round on the board. Some really, really dominant players. We do head into this mid with Halfrong sitting again at quite high ping, affect his survivability a little bit here, but take us away on this mid, Graham.
Def there quite a bit faster than Redcoat by a mile, really. It's almost like he's in a different country at that point in time, and a raise is going to fall very early to Sam. Pressure's coming back around. They're trying to find an answer, but Unanimous confusion. The health is so poor. This is looking very poor for them right now. They're in dire straits, and rockets are coming through, as are the wipes. Everybody's dead. It's a team kill, and that will do it for that mid.
Yeah, really well played. Yule actually waddling under point on quite low health for most of that mid after fighting off the Feign bomb. And then just one rocketing the medic and assisting in the frag on the demo there. Raze actually gets caught out on Spy in the drop down area. He got absolutely farmed by Riot just then. That's not what you want to see as you're going for that last ditch spy play. Gun is up. The gun is actually not spammed down before the Uber's committed. So the Uber comes in actually on the right side, top right here. Medic is staying up the top right here, but his whole team is fighting on the ground. Cookie may lose this duel. Oh, excellent surf from Doge, but he does get owned at the very end there. But it's just Halfrong on the point. Can't really do anything. And that is the fourth round in what was a very, very quick mid to last Dreamboat.
Yeah, one more of those, we're all done. That's, I mean, they tried. Did they get? I guess they get a participation medal. It is ozfortress Prem, so there are medals still, I think. Yes, that's changed.
No, there are still medals.
They'll get a participation medal for coming out, but this has just been so nice from Coffee Clock. Faithless, though, he's gonna start things off on mid, and Yule will fall too. Perhaps they are not out of this yet.
That being said, have a look at Raze. Have a look at Raze. Rolled out to mid on Brass Beast Heavy. I think did about 30 damage, and everyone saw him and was like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good." Hey, he is rolling through choke actually on this as well. Not sure. Do they have someone left capping? No, they're sending their soldier back to go cap here. Raze is walking up on this Brass Beast Putus. He's going to try to convert this into a last push, into their first successful last push as a Brass Beast Putus. These Ubers are even, and these guys are actually really, really aggressive in lobby. Yule looks like he wants to go for a force here. Jumping into this Brass Beast Heavy is not what you want to do, though, and he changes his mind very, very quickly. Riot is actually doing a lot of work, manages to kill the Brass Beast Heavy. That's pretty funny, and survives to live the tail. Faithless losing his life as well. This Uber is forced. Spade jumping forward to see what he can do. Doge taken quite low, but his movement is really, really good, surviving at the very end there. Halfrong does lose his life. Sam were running forward, cleaning up those last few players, and it's just Feign spawning up on that second side. Not really able to do anything, as that meme Putus was completely shut down very quickly by Riot and Yule trying to just do what they can. And we do have a full ad situation, as I misread 10% as 100%. This is now full ad coming in here. Spade jumping forward to see what he can do, but he's getting crushed pretty quickly here. Yes, some nice rockets from Riot. And pistols indeed from Sam, cleaning that up. Raze is playing a different variety of Putus right now. He's got a Tomislav now, so he's changing things up a little bit, which you always want to see. You've got to change things up a little bit if you're 4 down.
Right.
But this Uber is so deep. This Uber is so deep. They go all the way behind the point and then back up again before they can do anything, and that point is capped in what was very, very aggressive and almost show-offish last cap there, Dreamboat.
I mean, I'll give the shout out to Riot. Faithless tried to jump to Spire, and God, absolutely annihilated. I think it was actually a double air shot. Don't quote me on that. I think it might have been though. It was nice. He got destroyed, and unfortunately, that's also what happened to Unanimous Confusion in this game. They put up a solid showing. They put in an effort, but at the end of the day, Coffee Clock, man, they are looking absolutely hot right now. They are a spicy lineup, and they showed why. Like, let's look at these logs here, man.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, like, looking at just the flank players, if you sort by damage, at least on mine, the flank players both show up right at the top. And that's Riot and Sam, both getting 19 frags and dying very little, under 10 deaths for both of them there, over 300 damage a minute. That's a really dominant play from your roaming soldier. If your roaming soldier is getting 20 frags and dying 10 times, that's a super important place for him to be. Normally I would be pointing the sort of shining banner at players like Redcoat, but he's not really getting too much done compared to the flank in that map in particular. And of course, Cookie absolutely farming, going 23 for 7. Obviously it's a 5-0, so it's very hard to sort of say, hey, this guy is amazing because he just 5-0'd some other team. But at the same time, those are very impressive stats to see no matter what the outcome.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. At least back when I followed TF2, back when I casted it, it's been a year, like I said, keep in mind. But like a year ago, roamers got destroyed. Scouts clicked on them. That's just the way it goes, right? Right?
Yes.
It went 19-9.
I feel that
19-9.
Roamers do still get shut down. I don't know what kind of game Riot was having, but it's not the same game of TF2 that everyone else has been playing. Like Fane definitely was having the scouts click on him. He was not having a good time.
So here is just a story from this game here on Badlands that just is a testament to how Riot is playing a different game than everybody else. Ewell, he tried bombing the heavy on Spire. He got destroyed. It's a heavy, you're a roamer. It's what happens. Riot bombs the heavy and he kills the heavy. Yep, that's right. Riot did the thing that you should never do, and he still somehow won that fight.
And he lived. He lived to frag another guy right away. So impressive from Riot. He's still definitely one of the best roamers in Australia. I think him and Hertz are both up there, but this performance that we saw tonight really cements Riot as one of the best soldiers in Australia. Definitely, like, hands down. I mean, I did feel that they were definitely getting a little demoralized on the side of Unanimous Confusion towards the end there. Ray's rolling out Putus a little bit. There's a little bit of that happening, but they did actually win that mid, so I'm not sure if it was actually a strategy or if Rays just decided to roll Putus. But yeah, it was. I feel a little bit more back and forth than the 5-0 scoreline for both maps seems to say. I know Process in particular did get quite close. Like, we were very close to time limit there. It wasn't 5-0 in like 10 minutes. It was 5-0 in about 28 minutes or something like that. So it was a little bit more back and forth than these logs may suggest. There's definitely life in these top 4 teams, definitely. I feel that this season in particular, because the top 2 are so close in Hertz's team, who I believe is Big Chungus, and this team, which is Coffee Clock, so both some very amazing names. They're both very, very close right now, and that could go either way. Obviously, I feel this team has the better scouts, but Hertz is a very, very good player, and Locke is a very good medic, and they do have Lau, and I can't remember who their other scout is off the top of my head, but they do have some very, very good talent on that team. So I reckon the top 2 is going to be exciting to watch for this season. And 3 and 4 are also very, very close. This team, Unanimous Confusion, and the team above them, Pineapple Towers, I think they're called.
What a name.
Yeah, Arnold and Ivan's team. They're very good. So I think the top 4 here are definitely really, really exciting to watch this season. So even though this game was a little bit of a roll, I feel that there's definitely room for movement in both of these teams. Like, I feel that Unanimous Confusion do have the skill to bring it to them, particularly when they have their core scout. Faithless didn't necessarily have the best game there. When they have Ben there, Ben usually does a little bit more work. So I feel that there's definitely room to move these scorelines, Dreamboat.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a tough call. The thing is the flank on Coffee Clock is what I think will set them apart from a lot of teams. I have genuinely been saying for like almost 2 years now that I think Riot is. I know I was definitely saying it leading up to Rewind 2 that Riot is, in my opinion, the best roamer in the world. And a year later, it clearly looks like that hasn't changed. And the way that he works that flank with Sam is so impressive right now that, they're going to have a hard time, any team that plays Coffee Clock, just dealing with that.
Oh, definitely. I agree completely with you there. Riot and Sam are definitely one of the better flank combos. But sorry, I just remember the other scout is Down on the second place team. Down is very good as well. So I feel that there's an exciting season to be had. And that being said, as we're just wrapping up things here tonight, we will be back hopefully with some other matches in the next week or so. There's some good ones lined up, so we're keen to get some more stuff casted. You'll be hearing from me, Dreamboat, a few of our other casters around, jumping in and out as we're sort of trying to step up our coverage this season, which I'm really excited for. Before we close anything out, do you have any last things to say before we move on to shoutouts, Dreamboat?
Really just thanks for having me back. I mean, I know it's always you're always hesitant to get someone who hasn't watched, talked, thought about, or really done anything in TF2 for over a calendar year. So the fact that you guys let me back, I appreciate it. Thanks on that front. But yeah, this is definitely, even though it was a role, just reminded me how much I love casting this game. So I'm gonna be. I think I'm going to come back for a few more games if you guys will have me.
Definitely, man. Let's have some shout-outs just before we close things out tonight. What are your shout-outs, Dreamboat?
I've got to give a shout-out to... This is an odd one coming in a TF2 stream, but I'm still going to shout them out anyway. Just the ladies on Carnage, CSGO female team, that had to go through an Asian qualifier playing with 200 ping, even though they're an Australian team, just to qualify for IEM Katowice. And then winning that qualifier with 200 ping, and then going to the LAN and making Australia proud. So shout out to them. Obviously, shout out to you, Xander, because it's been a while, but you're an absolutely amazing caster, and it's always a pleasure.
Oh, you're very kind.
And yeah, I'm just gonna shamelessly plug my Twitter. I know you've been calling me Dreamboat. Some people out there know me as Dreamboat. I've actually changed aliases though. My name is Graham Cass now. I feel like it fits better than Dreamboat. It's an alias I was never a huge fan of. It was an old high school nickname. So I feel like Grahamcast is better. That is my Twitter. You can reach out to me there for any of your casting needs, any of your voice work, if you need me to say anything, or really just to DM me and call me an idiot. Any of those work.
Awesome. I did try to sort of check myself in. I called you I feel Graham half the time, and the rest of the time I did slip up. That's my bad.
Look, the thing is like, I've been in TF2. I started casting in 2014. I've been around for 5 years. I did it with Dreamboat as the alias for all 5 of those years. I'm not going to judge anyone for still calling me Dreamboat.
Yeah, all right, I'll move on to some of the shout-outs on this side of things. Shout out to Xeno Discord, shout out to Fosm, shout out to both of the teams tonight for a very enjoyable game to cast. Shout out to Thermite on production. Of course, big shout out to Dreamboat. Thank you for coming in again. We'd be really happy to have you for some more casts going down the line. As well, shout out to everyone watching tonight. It's been a really fun stream. I hope you all enjoyed watching it. There's some great TF2 happening in Australia right now, and I'm very excited to keep casting some more really, really exciting games heading into the future. That being said, tune into our stream again later on when we will be bringing you some of those. And I think that's all we have to say for tonight. So I'm just going to say good night and leave you guys to it. So good night, everyone. Sleep well.
Drive.